I don't know, context and things I just don't have. So I'm just very, very confused. I'm often left confused, but I try to make the best of it. Okay, here we go. We have this video about this small content creator, and I don't know if he decided to come back, whatever. But I found this video so good. This is one of the few videos that I'm gonna react to that I actually pre-watched. And I found it so good and insightful and like unique because it was like a very cool video and it was literally exactly what I was looking for. But he was literally the only person who broke all this down. It's really good. Check this out.
Baseball time, America's favorite pastime. Friday Night Baseball just launched on Apple TV+.
Yeah, I started watching this with my dad
from this video
to see what I thought myself.
But on-screen graphics. So without further ado, let's get started.
I am also a fan of on-screen graphics. I used to be a nerd about this sort of thing.
As a whole. In the upper left, we have the score bug, which I'll talk about more in a minute. In the bottom right, we have an interesting information spot, as I'm dubbing it, which I'll talk about more later. There's also the strike zone graphic, pretty common. I'll talk about this later as well.
It is weird how common the strike zone graphic has become, because it used to be only like a postseason thing that Fox would do during the postseason, and then that would be it.
Focus on the overall design.
I think ESPN maybe too.
The palette is black.
I think
the latter half.
Fox introduced it, and then ESPN pioneered it being in like like the mainstream broadcast.
Slightly less opacity, so you can see through it more. The font is the same everywhere. It's San Francisco, the font Apple uses for everything. Most of the text is in white, although in this graphic,
the Liberator
it's gray. I'll talk about
said in the chat.
The graphics
These graphics are nice from a live streaming and filming standpoint.
And most of the graphics
they are,
and
sort of like the camera angles and things that they use.
Cuts to a different camera angle, just disappearing entirely. Another overarching theme is the odds and betting integration. BetMGM is a sponsor of Friday Night Baseball.
I completely forgot about this because I actually watched this video like a month or two ago, and I forgot about this. Like today, I was looking around at like what people were saying about it, and one of the complaints was they were showing a lot of BetMGM commercials, and I guess. Like, cause like before each commercial break, they were showing BetMGM commercials. I guess it was because it's sponsored by BetMGM.
Shows quite a few graphics of over/under stats or odds.
Now I will say I've watched like maybe 2 or 3 innings. No, in total probably around 6 innings of like MLB baseball on Friday Night Baseball on MLB on Apple TV Plus, but. From what I've seen, I haven't really seen that many ads for BetMGM or like the odds thing down there. So
personally, I think it adds a bit of diversity in contrast to stats, and more stats. But let me know what you think. On that note, a sub to the channel would be
I don't mind stats though.
Safe bet. Let's talk about the score bug now. The score bug is separated into 2 layers. The top layer practically solid black with the team logos and their score separated only by the Apple TV Plus logo. Starting off with an up or down arrow and an ordinal number, first, second, third, to represent the inning. Next we have small black diamonds that fill in white if there's a batter on that base. All pretty standard. You'd see this in any other broadcast on any other network. But right below the base icon comes the controversy. Whenever you talk about baseball graphics, you always need to talk about the out dots. Small dots that fill in whenever there's an out. Simple enough. But how many do you have?
That's a good question.
Well, you might say there are 3 outs, so you would put 3 dots. Okay. But the third out ends the inning, so why put 3 dots and then fill in the third momentarily?
That's a good point.
Of seconds tops.
Like I can't remember. I think. Let me look and see because I think Fox. Let's see, Fox Sports Baseball High. Because if I remember correctly, Fox has 2 dots in their score bug. But then they changed their score bug recently, and it's really bad now. Is this a Fox Sports game?
The Liberator said in the chat. I like his breakdown. I've thought about these things while watching broadcasts.
Yeah, me too. Like, I used to be like a huge nerd about this sort of thing.
And there
Let's
is
see.
the t-shirt.
Here, we got to see the score bug here in this clip, so.
In the ball games, he's lowered his career ERA, by the way, under.
The center fielder.
No, this is different channel. Anyways, I don't know how to find a good clip on the fly, but
into the ether and the broadcast cuts to ads. This is why most broadcasts and networks have 2 dots. I think you should put 3, but comment down below what you think. Apple have chosen to put 3.
DJLL
Next up, the score bug,
reacts.
the strike ball counter.
Said in the
Pretty
chat,
simple, no need to explain.
I am
Finally,
still a
the
nerd of
pitch number,
sports.
Oh, you
or the
love
pitch
sports?
speed. It changes. Most of the time, it shows the number of pitches the current pitcher has thrown, but shortly after the ball has been thrown, it'll show the pitch speed in miles per hour. It might actually
cool. I
show
think
the
it's also
speed
something
in
ESPN
kilometers
does.
per hour, depending on where you live, but I cannot verify that. Next up, the strike zone. Pretty simple concept. An AR white box that marks the strike zone. When a pitch is thrown, it will make a baseball-sized circle where it was in the strike zone. And if
Or not.
it's red, that means it's a strike. If it's green, that means it's a ball. The last feature is one I haven't seen before, though. Broadcasters will either just show a circle or put a K in the middle of the circle, symbolizing a strike. An interesting fact, though, the strike zone was originally created as an entertainment feature and should not be used by fans or commentators to mark clearly that an umpire was in the wrong. But let's talk about the ad break graphic now. So this graphic is usually shown every half inning. This is the only graphic I could find that has all its text in gray instead of white. It's a quick summary of the game so far,
In
showing
gray?
runs, hits, and errors.
That looks like white to me, I'm gonna say.
The bottom detail text and the rightmost section of the graphic are reserved for sponsors, but the information in the middle is the interesting part of this graphic. It shows the running order. This may not seem special to any baseball newcomer, but I've never seen any other broadcaster show the running order in the graphic for the ad break, of all things. It makes sense when you think about it. I mean, it shows you who's coming up, so you know the name of the hitter you're seeing after the ad stop. Kudos to Apple on this one. Small details like this are what make broadcasts all that much better. Alright, let's talk about the graphic involving
That's true. I think this is the most talked about aspect of the graphics package. This is, by the way, this is, I don't know if he has this in his vocabulary. A lot of other people don't have this in their vocabulary. This isn't even on Wikipedia, but everything he's talking about here is formally known as the graphics package. Like everything, like as a whole,
said in the chat,
is known as a graphics.
He uses the word graphic, and it sounds like what a pro in the filming film would sound like.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but what he's talking about as a whole is called the graphics package. Now, individual elements and things like, you know, you have a score bug that's like they at the top and whatever. But like as a whole, it's known as the graphics package. In case y'all didn't know, he hasn't mentioned this. It's hard to even find the nomenclature on Wikipedia, but that's like formally what it's called.
Save for some slight changes. This, though, the information spot is completely original. All it is 2 lines of white text on the bottom right of the screen. Very minimalistic and simplistic. The fanciest thing about it is sometimes it's bold. It reminds me of a text watermark, always there. The content is where it really shines, though. It mainly shows stats about the player, walk-off percentage, strikeout percentage, RBI. But in those moments of between time, between hitters, between pitchers, between innings, it can show so much more. Something I haven't even touched on is other Apple products and services integration. This is a broadcast made majoritarily by Apple. Apple made this, and it's exclusive.
This is actually not true. It took me a while to find sources on this, but it turns out that it's produced by the MLB Network. Now, how much input Apple has into their production, I'm sure they have some input, so I'm not 100% sure what that input is. But there is definitely like some input. So I'm a little bit confused exactly on what's going on behind the scenes. I've also seen some sources say that it's broadcast in 1080 at 60 frames per second. And it seems like that's what's broadcast at, but I don't know that for sure because they don't really show the codec information, which I wish they did. But yeah, there's some stuff. So all the behind the scenes stuff is like very like locked down and not and like unofficial and not like officially known. So it's kind of weird and nebulous.
TV Plus. You can't watch it anywhere else. So what are the integrations? Well, one of them is Siri. Around half a dozen times per game, the white text will disappear, replaced by some more white text and a Siri bell. It'll ask a question, the commentator will read the question out loud, and
players don't get
the
it.
question might be about a team, a player, or a random stat.
I have not seen that yet.
Had the most strikeouts in 2021, for example. A few innings later, the ball of convalescing dark colors will reappear, and it'll give you the answer. So between those 2 appearances, the lead commentator will drop the answer, maybe in an offhanded remark, maybe while reading or reacting to a on-screen graphic. Whatever the case, it'll be subtle, and it'll only be said once. So you have to keep your ears and eyes peeled. Obviously, this is a plot to increase audience engagement, but I think it's fun, and might be funny in some situations where you're watching with friends or
that's true. It could
Another
be.
integration.
If they're gonna say, why is the pitcher so bad at pitching?
Apple's pitch for this goes something along the lines of, have you ever heard a hitter's walk-on song, listened to the first couple seconds, and realized you like it? What song is this? I need to add it to my library. You quickly pull out your phone, ready to Shazam. But alas, the song is faded. The pitcher is about to throw the first pitch, and you, dear fan, will never know what that song was, and you don't know if it'll ever return again. Our solution to this? When a player walks on, the information
Nobody
spot will
said
quickly
this.
be replaced
Now,
by the Apple Music
I like
logo
his
with the track
ideas.
name.
I like his ideas here, and there are some ways that I think Apple could better integrate Apple products into their things. But I'm gonna go into that after this
So you have
this is
plenty of time
over.
to search it and add it to your
He is
library.
kind of on a good track here.
I think it's a pretty cool feature, and I can definitely see some use cases for it. Before you ask, yes, I got a haircut. So I know that by the time this video is uploaded, it'll be over a week since Friday Night Baseball launched. I'm very sorry about that. I was on spring break and editing took tens upon tens of hours. However, if you would subscribe, that would make my day and continue to inspire me to keep creating content, yada yada yada.
By the way, please subscribe to this dude. Actually, hold on. I'm gonna throw the link into the chat, and because shoot, this interface sucks. But yeah, definitely check this guy out because this video is like really well done, and I feel like is like most likely underappreciated.
Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.
Okay, so
Not a newbie streams. Said in the chat. https://youtube.be/mp2inunqnq.
I did that to myself.